They took everything from him, but he came back unstoppable. My name is Jason Cole. I was 27 when everything I loved was taken from me. I wasn't born into privilege. I grew up in a rough part of Detroit, raised by a single mother who worked double shifts just to keep food on the table. From a young age, I understood struggle, understood the grind it took just to survive. But I was determined to rise above it. And somehow, I did. I worked 2 jobs while going to college at night. I studied while the world slept. I sacrificed sleep, parties, relationships, everything, for a future I believed in. By the time I turned 26, I had built something that felt real. I had my own tech startup, a small but loyal team, and a girlfriend, Leah, 25, who believed in me more than I believed in myself. We lived in a tiny apartment with a leaky sink and creaky floors, but it was ours. Every cent I had went into the business, every second into turning my vision into something the world would notice. But life doesn't always reward hard work. Sometimes it tests you in ways you never see coming. It started with a failed contract. Then a second investor backed out. Bills began piling up. I fought to hold on, to keep paying my team, to keep hope alive. But pressure has a way of revealing things. My best friend and co-founder, Ryan, someone I'd known since high school, betrayed me. He stole the tech we built, pitched it to a rival company, and walked away with everything. My code, my pitch deck, my dream. I tried to fight it, legally. But with no money, no lawyer, and no proof he'd taken it, I lost. I lost the company. I lost my team. I lost my name in the industry. Then came the next blow. Leah. She tried to stay, I think. For a while. But I wasn't myself. I was angry, numb, cold. I pushed her away without even realizing. One morning, I woke up to an empty apartment and a short letter. And just like that, everything I built, everything I loved, was gone. I spent weeks in darkness. I stopped answering calls. I didn't shave. I didn't eat right. The world moved on without me while I sat in a spiral of regret and self-hate. There were nights I stared at the ceiling, replaying every decision that led me there. Nights I screamed into pillows so no one would hear. Nights I didn't want to wake up the next day. But rock bottom has a strange kind of silence. And in that silence, something began to shift. It wasn't a sudden epiphany. It wasn't some dramatic turning point. It was slow, painfully slow. But one morning, I got up. I walked to the mirror. I saw someone I barely recognized. Hollow eyes, sunken cheeks. But somewhere deep in that reflection, there was still a spark. I remembered what my mother once said: people can take everything from you, but they can't take who you are. And I realized, they didn't destroy me. They just stripped away the noise. What was left was fire. I moved back in with my cousin, Devin, 30, in a cramped studio in Brooklyn. I took up a janitor job at a small data center just to keep the lights on. But I didn't stop building. I worked at night, quietly, obsessively. I rewrote my old code from scratch. But this time, I didn't focus on what others wanted. I focused on what I believed the world needed. And over time, that project became PulseNet, a decentralized data protection system that allowed people to control how their data was stored, shared, and monetized. No middleman, no manipulation, just pure autonomy. I launched it anonymously on open source forums and Reddit. It spread like wildfire. People began downloading it, using it, talking about it. Investors came knocking. But I remembered what happened last time. This time, I built differently. I brought in a small, loyal team of developers who'd also been burned by the system. People like me, underdogs with nothing to lose. We built it in silence. We scaled in the shadows. And when we were ready, we revealed our names. The industry that had turned its back on me was now begging for collaboration. Ryan, he tried to sue us for code theft. But this time, I had everything documented. Everything backed up. The court ruled in our favor. His company crumbled. Mine soared. Leah reached out, said she was proud of me, that she missed me. But I had changed. Because the man they took everything from, he was gone. What rose from those ashes was someone else entirely. So if you're listening to this, if you've ever been betrayed, abandoned, shattered, hear me when I say this. They can take your job, your love, your money, even your name. But they can't take your fire. Unless you let them.